Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neka or Nene of Nigeria Canada Girl, and Nigeria Canada Girl is your one-stop plug for all things immigrant lifestyle here in Canada. You can check out my previous videos for content you might be interested in. Having said that, welcome back again, and today I am going to be talking about the cost of living in Toronto. Yes, I'll be diving right into this one. I did have a video session with Tofino Immigration. It was an Instagram live session about what living in Ontario, particularly Toronto and the GTA, is like. And after that video, I know I got a lot of questions around the cost of living. How much does housing cost? How much do you need to spend on an average monthly? And I decided to tackle all that in this video. Now, if this is something you'll be interested in, hang tight. Yes, guys, I did say we'll be talking about the cost of living in Toronto. How much would it cost you to live in Toronto? But before I dive into that video, I have some greetings from my good friends at Lemonade Finance. I actually have really great and incredible news from them. Remember how we had talked about how they're the perfect online platform to send Canadian dollars to Naira through safe and securely, right? At the time, they did not have the capability to send Naira to Canadian dollars. But guess what? They have launched that feature. It is live and it is amazing. So you can now send Naira to Canadian accounts through the Lemonade Finance app. And it is very easy and straightforward. If you do not have the app already, all you have to do is download the app from either your App Store or your Google Play Store. It's called Lemonade Finance. As soon as you download it, you can sign up. Now, to get 10% off your first transaction with Lemonade Finance, you can use my user code NCG promo, and this gives you 10% off your first transaction, and voila, you are ready to transact. Now remember, with Canadian dollars, all you had to do was send an Interact transfer with your online banking to the Lemonade Finance platform. Your wallet is funded, and then you can send to any Nigerian account. Now, for the Naira version, all you have to do again is add a Naira wallet, and you can fund it through the account number that would be shown to you on the Lemonade Finance app. As soon as you funded that account, voila, your platform, your wallet is funded. You can then begin to send Naira to Canadian accounts. I mean, of course, it will get there as Canadian dollars. But isn't that awesome? Remember how everyone is always looking for how to get Canadian dollars? Everyone looking to change Naira to Canadian dollars. You can now do that safe and securely on the Lemonade Finance platform. So you no longer need to go around looking for who to change your Naira into Canadian dollars. You can do it right there, safe and securely on the Lemonade Finance platform. You should check it out. Now, diving right into the topic of the day, guys. How much does it cost to live in Toronto? I'll be breaking all the myths, telling you what the truth is, telling you what the fact is. So whatever you heard, guys, just hang on to those thoughts and watch this video before you make your conclusion. Now, Ontario is I'll say it's the most preferred destination. Now, this is judging by the statistics of numbers of people who move to Ontario versus other provinces for immigrants here in Canada. So for people coming to study, people coming here as permanent residents, a lot of people tend to choose Ontario as their preferred destination. Now, out of those people who choose Ontario, a chunk of them also choose Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. So that's the GTA. So Toronto would be the city of Toronto. The Greater Toronto areas would be surrounding cities like Mississauga, Brampton. You know, these are the Greater Toronto areas. Now, a lot of people have talked about how expensive it is to live in Toronto, how you have to earn a certain amount of money to live in Toronto, how unaffordable it is to live in Toronto, okay? So what I'll be doing in this video is I'll actually be breaking down the different costs you need to incur or things you'll be spending on to live here in Toronto, okay? Now, if you're looking to relocate to Canada and you are in Ontario, particularly Toronto and the GTA, keep watching. Or if you're already in Canada and you live in another province and you're considering moving to Toronto or the Greater Toronto area, you should keep watching. So I'm going to be breaking this down into the different things you'll be spending on. Number one, housing. How much does housing cost in Ontario, particularly Toronto? Now, there isn't one price to say, oh, you know what, just have this amount of money and you can get a place to rent. So most of what you'll be doing here is renting, except of course you're ready to purchase a house right off the bat. Now, bear in mind that this video will be focusing on a family of one because I am a family of one. But with that, you can definitely do the math to see what it will cost a family of 2, 3, and so on. Back to talking about housing. So here in Toronto, you can either rent or you can buy. But as new immigrants, a lot of people start off by renting because you need to have saved some money. You need to have the down payment. That's a different topic entirely, buying a house. So we're just going to be focusing on renting a house here in Toronto. Okay. Now, it can cost you anything between $900 to $2,300 monthly to rent a place here in Toronto. And I'll explain why the range is so wide, okay? So here in Toronto, there are different types of housing arrangements you can have. You can share a space like a 2-bedroom with a roommate. Well, a housemate is what we call a roommate here. You can decide to get a 1-bedroom basement all to yourself. You can decide to get a 1-basement apartment all to yourself, or you can get a 1-bedroom condo all to yourself. Okay. Now, if you're looking at sharing, which is usually the cheapest, this is where you share either a basement, an apartment, or a condo with someone else. So it could either be someone who already has a home and you're looking to rent out one of the rooms, or it could be you getting a place with a friend and deciding to split the rent. Now, this is the cheapest option, and this is what will cost you somewhere from, well, you can actually get some deals for $850 monthly, but realistically, you want to think between $900 to $1,100 monthly. That is what this sharing situation would cost you. Maybe more between $900 to $1,000 monthly. So what this means is that the original cost of the house is probably $2,200 or $2,000, and you and your housemate are splitting the cost evenly. So what that would mean is that you would be splitting the rent and paying just half, which is about $900 monthly. Now, depending on what area you live in, but on the average, this is a fair amount you can get to share a space with a housemate. I mean, you could get it cheaper, don't get me wrong, but on the average, this is what you should be expecting to spend. And this is a very common situation. It's not out of the ordinary. When I moved here, I started off sharing a condo with a roommate as well. Sometimes it's a 3-bedroom condo and you can split the rooms amongst 3 different people. So you have the common area like the living room where you all share. Of course, you all use the kitchen and other common areas, but you all have your own rooms. Okay. Now, if you're looking to rent a 1-bedroom to live all by yourself, this is where the rent begins to spike up a bit. You should be expecting to spend anywhere between $1,300 to about $2,500. $1,300 being the cheapest. Now, this would be for like a basement, so you could live in a 1-bedroom basement where you have your own kitchen, you have your own bedroom, you have your own washroom and all that, okay? And you can live alone. So this could be the basement level of a house. Your landlord might be living on the upper floor, or it could be rented out to another tenant. So this could cost you anywhere between $1,300 to maybe, $1,400. There are even some basements that cost up to $1,500. I mean, it's Toronto. Okay. Now, if you're looking to live in an apartment, so now this is just an apartment in a block of buildings, you can expect to spend anywhere between $1,600 to about $1,800 or $2,000. Okay, so this is just an apartment. It's a 1-bedroom apartment, quite spacious. You have your own kitchen. It's probably not on the basement level. I mean, it has floors from first floor to whatever number of floors, depending on how high up the building is. Or it could just be a 1-bedroom in a house. Some houses are built in such a way that they are segmented into different units. So it could be a 1-bedroom unit in a house. Okay. Now, another situation you can have is renting a 1-bedroom in a condo. I know a lot of people have asked the difference between condos and apartments. A lot of the time, they're really similar, but the differences could be noticed in how it's managed. But even that is not cast in stone. People say, condos are usually owned by private owners, while apartments are like managed by a management, so there's a building management. But that's not even the case these days. I know people who live in condos that are managed by, an office management or like a company. But for me, how I like to put it, I just like to say condos are the bougie versions of apartments. So they're usually fitted with everything you need, from pools to gyms. They have more recent equipment. It's just really bougie. So just imagine it as living in a really good hotel, just that it's like an apartment of hotels, or like a hotel with different living apartments. That's how I like to see condos. They are more fancy, and apartments are more basic. You might not have a laundry room in your apartment. You might have to go downstairs or to the common area to use one the rest of the buildings use. So just subtle differences like this. So ultimately, condos are more expensive. So it's going to cost you anywhere between $1,800 up to about, I don't even want to cap it. I was going to say to about $2,500 to rent a condo in Toronto. But really, depending on the area, you could actually see 1-bedroom condos for as costly as $2,700 or even $2,800. But on the average, you can rent a 1-bedroom condo between $1,800 to about $2,300 or $2,500. And now this all depends on where in Toronto it's located. Okay, so that is all about housing. Now let's move to transportation. How much would it cost you to commute every month to, the expectation is that you either have a job you're going to every day or a school. I know right now a lot of jobs are remote, and people have this hybrid model where they work from home now. This happened since, COVID, right? However, realistically, you also want to have a transportation allowance monthly that includes you commuting every day. And if for some reason you have a job that doesn't require you to commute, then good for you. But I'll be treating this as though you are commuting every day. Okay, so it's going to cost anywhere between $200 to $300 monthly. Now, these are for people who do not own cars, who do not plan to get cars immediately, and they just want to commute to the public transportation system, which is very good, by the way, at least in Toronto. Okay, so you'd be spending between $200 to about $300 monthly. Now, let me break this down. If you'll be getting a bus pass, your bus pass is probably $150 monthly. I think that's what it costs actually. You can get a Presto card and load on a Toronto, it's called the TTC, the Toronto Transportation Corporation. Yeah, and you can load on a monthly pass on your Presto card. Your Presto card is your transportation card, okay? So that will cost about $150 monthly. What this means is you can get on any bus, any train within Toronto, and all you have to do is tap your card when you get in. You do not have to pay anything extra. So $150 is all you pay in a month. But realistically, there might be times where you have to commute outside Toronto, maybe not too many times. And in those times, you might have to use another transport system that would be a different charge from your monthly charge, which is why I capped it at, I placed it between $200 to $300. If you're using the GO train, which is a more expensive mode of transportation that goes to longer distances, you'll probably be spending some extra dollars outside the $150. Some people have to take both the GO train and the TTC to commute to work every day. Okay, so realistically, somewhere between $200 and $300. Plus, some other times you might really need to get somewhere faster, might need to hop into an Uber. So it's somewhere between, like I said, $200 to $300 monthly. But if you're going to, really stick to your program, just go on TTC buses and everything, you can actually pull off a $150 transportation cost monthly. Now, if you plan on getting a car, this is an entirely different cost. So this video is just kind of focusing on the cost of living at the barest minimum, the basic. If you'd like to get a car, however, you'd need to consider insurance costs. Here in Toronto, insurance costs between $350 to about $550. Now, this is something that is paid monthly. Every car needs to be insured here in Canada. You can't drive a car without it being insured. And insurance is on the high side. Yes, like many of you have heard, here in Toronto, it's going to be somewhere between $350, which would be a really good deal, to about $550 monthly. Now, if you are buying off the car, all you have to worry about is paying your insurance monthly and, of course, fueling the car, servicing the car monthly. So these are like additional costs. However, if you'd like to finance a car, so what this means is you would not be buying the car off outright. You'd be purchasing it through a company and you'd pay an amount every month towards owning the car. So this could cost anywhere between, depending on what sort of car it is, the price of the car, and the arrangement you have with the financing company over how many years you pay for the car. It could be anywhere between $250 to about $500. Of course, more expensive cars would require that you pay more every month. Okay, so there are different costs associated with driving a car. So the focus here is just on your monthly pass if you'll be commuting through public transport. And that's it for transportation. Now let's talk about utilities. So here in Canada, it applies in the whole of Canada. So does it apply in Ontario? Utilities include things like your water bill, your light bill, your hydro bill, your phone bill, your internet bill. Here in Toronto, however, if you are renting a house, you'd most likely be responsible for your electricity and heat bill, okay? And this could be anywhere between $100 to $150 monthly. But in many situations, you might be living in a place where if you're going to be renting a basement or sharing a condo with someone or sharing an apartment with someone, a lot of the time this is already included in your rent. For example, I don't think I have ever paid a separate light and electricity bill. I just pay my rent and it's usually included. So when trying to look for a place, this is something to look out for, okay? If it's not included, that would be a separate cost from what we discussed the house rent would be, okay? Now, one cost that is totally your cost is your phone bill. Getting a phone line would depend on what provider you choose to get a phone line with, okay? Ideally, it could cost between $55 to about $80 a month, depending on what provider you use. Some providers are more expensive than the other providers. Something else to consider would be the phone device. Are you buying off the phone device? Is it your phone device, or do you want that to be financed? Just like the example I used with the car. If you're financing the phone, what it means is that it's a contract phone. So what it means is that every month you pay towards owning the phone. So if your internet, for example, your phone bill, the data, I'll get to internet shortly. If your phone data costs about, let's say, $60 monthly, and let's say you have to pay $40 every month towards owning the phone, it means your phone bill every month will be $100. So some of these providers have good deals that could lump both. But if you're using your own phone, you're not having to pay, you've bought up the phone yourself, it's your phone, your device, you can pay anywhere between $55 to $80 monthly, depending on the provider, okay? Now, let's talk about internet. Internet is everything here. There is Wi-Fi. As long as you're in a home, there is access to Wi-Fi, or you have the ability to get access to Wi-Fi. Again, a lot of people who share spaces with people who already own the houses, like let's say you rent a room in the house or you're renting the basement, a lot of the time the landlords already have Wi-Fi and it's usually included in the bill, but in many cases it is not. My Wi-Fi currently isn't included in my bill, my internet. Okay, so the cost of internet monthly, very similar to the phone bill. It could be anywhere between $55 to $100, or maybe $90 monthly. Let's say $55 to $90 monthly. Sometimes if you use the same package or the same phone company for both your phone and your internet, they would most likely give you a discount. And let's just say for both of them, you might be paying somewhere between $100 monthly or $120 monthly. Okay, so that's for utilities. It really varies, but I'm just talking about the most common situations here. So you might have to pay for your phone data and pay for your Wi-Fi. Both of them might cost you anywhere between $100 to $120 monthly. Now let's talk about feeding, grocery shopping. How much would it cost you to do groceries? Realistically, it could be anywhere between $150 to $200. Now, this would include things like meat, fish, egg, chicken, and everything you require to make your home cooked meals. Okay, so if you're going to be eating out, if you're not going to be cooking often, your cost of feeding will definitely be higher. And to be honest, I can't really give you a bracket because I don't think there's ever been a time where I never cooked and I was just eating out throughout. All I can say is that it can be really expensive. You can just check out the cost of restaurants or just go to Uber Eats and it will give you an idea of how much you'd be spending if all your meals were bought from somewhere or bought from a restaurant. Okay, back to groceries. So you could spend anywhere between $150 to $200 buying groceries monthly. Now, these include basic groceries, like I said, fish, meat, fresh stuff. If you would want some cereal and all that, all this is covered in the $200 monthly. Now, for your personal supplies, this isn't included. Why? Because some of you or some of us, some of us might have body and skincare products that are, it's probably going to be just a bottle might be more expensive than what you'd use to purchase groceries in an entire month. So I'm not even putting that in. I'm not putting that in. It's that's a separate cost. So when I say groceries cost between $150 to $200 monthly, it's just basic stuff, laundry detergent, groceries, fresh foods, things to stack up in your cabinet and all that. Okay, so that's about how much realistically you can spend or expect to spend on groceries monthly here in Toronto. Now, leisure and entertainment. By this, I'm just referring to things like subscriptions, TV subscriptions. So if you watch Netflix, for example, I have Netflix, I have Amazon Prime, I have Disney Plus. So it really depends on you. It depends on you and what subscription services you want to subscribe to. Each of them would probably be about $10 monthly. I think Netflix is a little over $10. No, I lied. Netflix is now about $13 monthly. Okay, so just imagine you had Netflix. Amazon Prime is still about $10 monthly. I use Amazon Prime mostly because I can also deliver stuff from Amazon Prime when I purchase on Amazon, 1-day delivery. Okay, so just imagine you pay about $13 for Netflix and $10 for Amazon Prime. That's like $23 monthly. Okay, some people do cable. You can watch cable. What this means is that that's an extra utility bill you'd be paying your TV company monthly to have cable installed. But if you're just watching internet TV like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Crave and the rest, it really depends on you and what you choose. But realistically, maybe somewhere between $20 to $30 monthly. If you decide to have just Netflix, good for you. That's about $13 monthly. If you want to lump in Netflix and maybe Amazon Prime and one other, maybe like $30 monthly. Okay. So guys, I hope this has been helpful. This is how much it would cost you to live in Toronto. I know I've put a lot of ranges between this and this. Now, I'm just going to average everything out. And this is mostly based on my lifestyle and the lifestyle of many people I know. And I will just kind of give you a single figure for everything. Now, please take everything I've said with a pinch of salt. And this information is accurate as at today. This is the month of October 2021. A lot of things change really fast, especially in Toronto. Prices increase and all that, okay? So for housing, I put down a $1,300, and this is for a single family. For transportation, I put down $200. For utilities, I put down $120. For groceries, I put down $200. For entertainment, this would be your TV subscriptions, I put down $30. In all, this is going to be roughly $1,850 monthly. So that's roughly how much it would cost you, a single family, a single person, to live a very basic, not exactly living the vida loca lifestyle, just basic, lifestyle here in Toronto. So that's almost 2,000 Canadian dollars every month. Now, getting this or knowing this information would give you an idea of how much it's going to cost you to live in Toronto. So you can make up your mind, decide if this is meant for you or if you'd want somewhere that would allow you save some more and spend less than, these things I have read out. So guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. Please share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, stay safe.